It's core review time once again, which means you all know the drill. We got cores, we got reviews, they're going to go on this handy dandy tier list. We're still on 2K24, so if you want to go ahead and get involved, go ahead and submit your cores to the hashtag breadstick on 2K24. And without any further ado, let's get on with the reviews. So we're actually starting in rather unique fashion because we're not actually starting on 2K24. I know, crazy. We're actually going to go ahead and do 2 reviews on WWE 2K23. Now, a lot of people in my community have been going back and making cores on older games, 2K17, 2K20, and now 2K23. And we've got 2, and the first one here is Mitchell McFarlane. Now, the quality of the video might not be fantastic, but we are still going to go ahead and have a look. So, as you can see here, it's the MVP gear, which is quite nice. Now, I'm pretty certain that that might just be a face template. However, what I am seeing is that it works overall, right? Like, I can't really tell. It doesn't look like there's been much face morphing, but if there has been, then it makes it work quite well. And I do like the gear, because his name's Mitchell McFarlane, which means that the M works. Like, I know a lot of people would go, it's just the MVP gear, but if you look in the back, you can see they've actually gone ahead and masked the MVP. Now, you can still sort of see it, but like, it's very tricky to get rid of that when it's such a unique shape, so I'll let it slide here today. Now, I do like the look, I like the hair, I like the overall vibe. I know what the E on the knee pad stands for. Yeah, I think anyone who kind of follows the channel and my good old partnership team, you'll know. And the jacket does also work quite well with the overall vibe too. I think this is a solid core. There's not really much to say because it all kind of works really well. I would say if there isn't any face morphing, then go ahead and potentially give it a little bit of face morphing, but it's on 23, so like, you know, hey, it's a solid effort. And you know what, for that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give Mitchell McFarlane a solid B tier. But of course, the 23 reviews don't stop there, because we have Sean LeMan up in here as well. And I actually really like the look. I think the gear works really well. I think the boots work too. I really like this combination of like the neck beard with the hair. I think it works really well. Again, I like the attire. I like the overall look. Everything works really, really well, and everything kind of blends in well. I would say that maybe like the only downside is like you've got a lot of patterns here, and then like the knee pads kind of kill it out a little bit. You could have maybe found some different ones that maybe added a little bit more of a pattern to the overall vibe, but it's still a pretty good look. And with the jacket and everything, yeah, no, this is heat. This is absolute heat look. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give Sean LeMan a low A tier. I think it's really good actually. Now, before the video continues, if you're a fan of the older games and what we've just done here, maybe you would be a fan of the Creators Commentary series, which is a members only series here on the channel, which you can be a member for as cheap as 99p a month. You get access to the Creators Commentary series, you get access to the Deep Dive series where we go ahead and we look at cores careers from start to finish, or from the beginning of a gimmick to an end of a gimmick from years gone by. And you also go ahead and you get yourselves onto the Wall of Support, all for just 99p a month. It greatly supports the channel. It's not needed in any way, but if you can, it'd be greatly appreciated. Now, back to the video. Next up for review, we have Astra. Now, first impressions, I actually really like this look. So what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a really strong face morph. And like, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you know, there's like a line at the top of the head and all of that. But like, again, right, if you've got hair, then that's not a big of a deal, right? Like, the bleed here is very minimal. You can't really see it. There's a bit of eyelash bleed there, but like, no, not eyelash, eyebrow bleed, sorry. There's a little bit of eyebrow bleed, but that's not too bad. But like, the morph itself is actually pretty good. Like, the lips line up well, the nose lines up well, the eyes line up well, and honestly, it's unique. I mean, like, the chin could do a little bit of work, but then again, you might have done some stuff to work on that after after the fact, so we'll have a look. We'll have a look. I'm still sort of seeing the line, but like with everything added, like the hair and stuff, it's not that visible, and I really do like the vibe. Now, what I will say is I'm personally more of a fan of this gear than the first gear, but both are good. That's got to be like custom detailing, right? Because like, oh, yo, this is nice. Yeah, no, I really like this vibe. Like a headband on there too. Nah, this is sick. Yeah, nah, like I love the detail. Like you've even got stuff on the kick pads as well. It's really nice. It all comes together really nicely. And honestly, this is an incredibly solid core. Because you know the vibe you want to go for and you're doing it. And that's like the big thing. Like that tattoo there as well, that bleeds in. That blends in really well. It's nicely blended. There's no bleed. There's nothing there. And it's honestly, it's a sick core. Where does Astra go on the tier list? I don't think I can do this properly without saying, Astra, welcome, my friend, to the S tier. So next up for review, we have, for the second time, Ben Hammer. Now, it's not uncommon. Well, I say it's not impossible for people to resubmit, right? Ben Hammer got a C tier last time, looking to improve, and first impressions, there are some things I like and some things I don't like, and we're going to get into all of it. So, immediately, the face texture is improved, but there are still issues. Like, you can see the lines up there, you can see the white there, which obviously the white isn't that bad, as always, if you have hair, but like, the distinct hairline is going to be an issue. I think it's fine, but what I'm seeing is I feel like the skin tone's a bit wild. Like, it's a bit bright. I don't know, like, if that's just a me thing or whatnot, but it does look a little bit off. It's not the end of the world, and what you have here is it is morphed pretty well, but I don't know, it's a bit uncanny to me. I don't know why. And then as far as the gear goes, the gear is honestly pretty solid, but there is like a few issues. Like you can see there where like textures cut off a little bit. Yeah, like, I think you can see lines there as well. I'm not super sure, but I feel like you can. That's lined up pretty well. Like, I get the vibe you're going for now. What? Hold on, what's going on here? There's suddenly like just like a giant, like, really obvious different patch of skin there. So you went for the cover-up, but the cover-up, I don't know, I find the cover-up highlights it more. Like, hold on, if you do this, I feel like you can patch that up way better, and I want to see if I can do it quickly. So what I've done is I've quickly gone ahead and I've grabbed the skin color, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and then I'm going to shrink this down. Does it ever start bleeding? And if it does, can we use that to our advantage? It doesn't really bleed in the way that we want it to, but, and then go on a color, maybe make it even just like a tad darker, like that. And there we go. Problem solved. It's just about doing a little bit more than just slapping a color on there, and all of a sudden this texture actually looks a lot better. It really does. But yeah, no, gear's good. The morph has actually gotten a lot better since the last time. The tattoos are good, but why does that look like that's cut off? Let's have a quick little look at what's going on there. That looks really disjointed to me, and like, I don't know, it just looks really off, because you can see like the top of the skeleton's heads have been cut off, and you can see the cut off there as well. Maybe it's not that big of a deal when you've got the gear. No, it still is. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie. The other tattoos are still blended in quite well. I do like the overall vibe. Where is Ben Hammer gonna go on the tier list? So after a C tier, I definitely think it's better than C. I'm gonna say a high B tier. So next up for review, we have Big Riz. Now, first impressions, I love this. I can't lie. So for starters, this face morph is actually just genuinely really unique. Like, you don't see stuff like this. And this is what I mean by, like, there's so much you can do to make your core stand out without even having to slap a face texture on. And it's morphs like this that are going to do it, because it just makes them look so much more unique, right? Like, there's not really much else to say on that front, to be honest. And then when we actually get into, like, the overall look, he gives me massive Ali G vibes. Now, if you don't know Ali G, how do you not know Ali G? I'll post a picture of him up on screen. But my god, this is such a sick looking core. And Oh my god. Everything works with the vibe, the aesthetic, and the look. This is what I'm on about, man. But like, good gimmicks will always get you high, like, on this tier list as well. And keeping it realistic, oh my god. Mate, this is legendary. This is legendary status right here. This is top tier levels, man. Let's have a look at that street gear as well. Yeah, nah, assignment understood, man. Assignment understood. This is fantastic work. Where is Big Riz gonna go on the tier list? Big Riz, my friend, welcome to the S tier. There's no other place for it. Next up for review, we have D'Angelo Bishop. Now, first impressions, I actually really like this look. So I really like this morph, because there's, like, no bleed on this at all. Like, this is really good. The eyes are lined up well, the nose is morphed well, the mouth's morphed well, everything works with the overall look. And there's not much else to say on that. And then like the gear with like the hair, the tattoos are blended in really nicely. Is there any bleed on any of these? That's the real question. There's a bit of bleed on that one, although I don't think that's going to be although that might just be an entrance one because you've got a sleeveless jacket. That might hold you down a little bit there. It's a very small thing, but I notice it. So I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to bring it down just a tiny little bit for that. But like, everything else is really nice. The look works. The gear's nice. However, I do worry that it's a little bit too much of one texture. Like, the knee pads have their own thing. That's good, but the logo kind of bleeds a little bit there, which is just like a 2-second tune-up, and I think you've got it. Like, that's nice, but there's also a little bit of bleed there too. But yeah, it's good. But I feel like maybe if there was like either a different texture on the trunks or the jacket, it wouldn't feel as, like, clustered, I guess you could say. Or repetitive, one of the two. Now, obviously, you've got the sleeve there, but you can still see the bleed. And I feel like that might be a little too stretched. I don't know. That's, like, it's hard to tell if that says DB or, like, 08 or whatever. So maybe consider squeezing that a little bit so it does actually flat out say DB. But I like the look. I feel like this kind of, like, tights could do with like a belt texture, or even just like an in-game belt chucked over the top. I don't know why, it just feels like a trunk design like this could use that. But no, overall it's a solid look. I think there are just a few things holding it down. So where does D'Angelo Bishop go on the tier list? I'm going to say a high A tier. And then to wrap up this video, we have Danara Monbeck. Now, first impressions, I actually like the look. So you know what? I think either I'm going crazy or there's been face morphing on this. I feel like there has been. Because I know what template this is. And it doesn't look like it's just that. So either there's been some sort of stuff done to it to make it look somewhat more unique, or there's been face morphing. Either way, I like the look, I can't lie. And then, like, as far as gear goes, like, sure, it's all in-game stuff, but it all works really well. Like, the glasses are nice, the jacket's nice, the black and white vibe. Like, I know I've been saying a lot that I'm not the biggest fan of the black and white color scheme, but that's just because for, like, all of the live stream core reviews, I probably had like 20 people with the black and white color scheme, to the point where it kind of like, it was hard to view them objectively because of that. But I do really like this gear, and I like the look. I like the hairstyle as well. I like the use of like the stripe motif and like the overall aesthetic. Like, that just fits in really well with this look. And honestly, you know, it's all in-game stuff, but it works really well, I can't lie. So where am I going to put Danara Monbeck on the tier list? I'm at, you know what, I'm going to say it, low A tier. So that has been the core review. Once again, if you've watched all of this and you want to go ahead and get involved, go ahead, submit your cores to 2K24 under the hashtag breadstick, and who knows, you might be in the next video. Core reviews, more of them are right here, and if you've seen all of them, YouTube really thinks you'll like this video, so consider checking that out. See ya!